Hello and welcome to today's social studies lesson. So first of all guys, can we all turn to wave and say a big hello to our friends on camera? Hello. Hello. And we'll begin by doing our meditation sequence. So I will sit down, take 2 fingers, find our heart center, left hand on our laps and close our eyes. And when you're ready, guys, you can open your eyes and come back to the room. Next, we'll do our stretch sequence. So let's stand up and push in our chairs. And for this sequence, we'll begin with some rotations. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Excellent, guys. And now we'll do 5 stretches to our right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll do 5 stretches to our left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent, guys. And let's have a shake. Shake it out. Arms and legs, shake it out. And now, let's take our right hand and find our left foot. Left hand, right foot. Right hand, left foot. Left hand, right foot. Right hand, left foot. Left hand, right foot. Right hand, left foot. And left hand, right foot. And to finish, guys, we will do 5 star jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent, guys. Have a seat. And in today's social studies lesson, we're going to be learning about something in society that we call monarchy. Monarchy. Yes. And how do we spell monarchy, guys? Excellent. All together, monarchy. Monarchy. Now, does anybody have any idea what does the term monarchy mean? What aspect of society is the monarchy? And I'll give you a clue. You can see a picture in this room now. King. King is the part of a monarchy because the monarchy is, ready guys, the royal family. The T-H-E, royal, R-O-Y-A-L, family. I-L-Y. So monarchy is a special word we can use to describe the royal family. Monarchy, the royal family. So does Thailand have a monarchy? Is there a monarchy in Thailand? Yes, Thailand has a royal family. So who can describe some of the members of the royal family? What people do you know who are part of the royal family or the monarchy in Thailand? The king. Excellent. Remember, in previous lessons, we've learned about Thai society. And the head of Thai society, the sovereign, is the king. And he is also the head of the royal family. So we can write king. K-I-N-G. King. Yes. Now, if the king is married, who is the king married to? If it's a lady, we won't say the king. Like, for example, Thailand has a head of state known as the king. But where I am from, England has a head of state that's a lady. So we don't say the king, we say queen. Excellent. King and queen. Q-U-E-E-N. So remember, king relates to a head of state if it's a man. And if it's a head of state who's a lady, it's the queen. And more often than not, the king and the queen are married. And if the king and queen have children, do we know what they're called? Apart from son and daughter, because they're a monarchy, because they are a royal family, they have special titles. For example, if it's a son of the king, prince. Yes. P-R-I-N-C-E. The king has a son, he will become prince. But the queen, if the queen has a daughter, we won't say prince. It's a longer word, princess. Yes. P-R-I-N-C-E-S-S. So you can see the royal family has a family tree through, like we've learned in previous lessons. King, queen, prince, princess. Now thinking about your own country in Thailand, can you think of any of these people in Thailand, prince or princesses? Are there any prince or princesses in Thailand that you know of? In England, where I am from, we have Prince William, Prince George, or Prince Edward. And we have Princess Beatrice or Petress Eugenie. So what we've got now is a PowerPoint presentation for our students to observe, listen to, and practice speaking about the monarchy and the head of state, also known as the king, and how he influences Thai society. So let's turn to have a look at the TV screen, please, guys. So let's take a look at our PowerPoint presentation about monarchy. And remember, monarchy is another term we can give for the royal family. Now, who can you see in the picture here, guys? Queen. Of what country? Thailand, yes. Here you can see a picture of the Thai royal family. Also a picture involving the late king, because now here you can see the current king. But this is what we call a royal family, when all of the family members are together. And that constitutes the monarchy. The King of Thailand, has been the heart and soul of Thais for centuries. Yes, throughout the different centuries that Thailand has been a country, there has always been a king. How many? 10. Yes. Now, the current king of Thailand is known as Rama X. And here you can see, starting from Rama 1 all the way through until the current king's father, Rama 9. So you can see how there is a succession of kings all the way through Thai history. In the past, the kings of Thailand were autocrats with absolute power. Yes, thinking back to previous lessons when we learned about democracy, when these kings were in rule, there was nothing called democracy. These kings had absolute power. They could do what they wanted, when they wanted. But recently, in the previous 100 years, Thailand has changed. Since 1932, the King of Thailand has been a constitutional monarch. Yes, it began with the previous king, Rama IX. When he took to the throne, he began the reign as constitutional monarch. And remember in the previous lessons about the constitution and what we mean about the law, parliament and the courts, how even the king has to answer to different types of Thai society. And that's what we mean by constitutional monarch. The king rules according to the laws and principles agreed by the Constitution. Yes, so even though the king is the head of the country and he is the ruler, he can only rule in a certain way after things have been agreed by the Constitution. They're no longer autocrats. They don't wield absolute power. Now he has power, but within specifically defined barriers. The king is the head of state who exercises sovereignty through parliament. Yes, and as you can see here, this is a picture of Thai parliament. When laws are agreed or passed, they have to pass through the parliament. Different members of government have to agree to them before the king or anybody else can enforce them. His Majesty works hard to keep the people of Thailand united. Yes, he wants to keep all the people of Thailand together and not conflicting with each other. And that's what His Majesty tries to do. His Majesty maintains all of the religions in Thailand. Yes. What can you see in the picture here? Buddha. The Buddha. Yes. What religion does this belong to? Buddhism. Yes. Buddhism is by far the greatest religion in Thailand. 98% of all Thai people are Buddhist. And they go to a temple to worship the Buddha. But there are other religions too. We have Christianity and Islam. Yes, so there are three main religions and they all operate in Thailand. But by far and away, the biggest one, Buddhism. Yes. His Majesty supports and preserves Thai arts and cultures. Yes. What can you see in the picture here? Dancing. Yes. This is traditional Thai dancing. Yes, you can see the costume that the ladies are wearing with the headpieces and also the jewellery. And what the king does is he supports and preserves Thai dancing and other cultures. His Majesty promotes education at all levels of Thai society. Yes, and this is true because in previous lessons we've learned about children's rights and how it's the right of all children to be given a proper education, regardless of background or circumstance. And you can see these children here, even though they might come from a poor background, they're receiving a proper and full education, which is their right. His Majesty promotes careers in the agricultural and farming sectors. Yes. Now, what type of crop do you think is being planted here? Rice, yes. We see lots of them where we are in Chiang Rai. Rice production is one of the main exports of Thailand. So therefore, it's one of the main agricultural components. Another one is coffee. Lots of coffee is also grown in Thailand. And the Majesty promotes all of these things. His Majesty initiates water supplies and forest protection projects. Yes, you see in a picture here, this is a local village and they've just been given use of this implement here that produces water. Does anybody know the name? Well. Yeah, it's a well with a pump. And you see this man here, he has his arms on the long pole. If he pumps it, water will come out the other end. And it's clean drinking water that's safe to cook and clean and wash. So His Majesty has made a lot of initiations for water supplies and also forest protection. His Majesty motivates the national security and defense forces. Yes. Who can you see in the picture? What type of uniform? Soldiers. Yes. And are they men or women? Women, yes, you can see female soldiers can also be part of the Thai army. And His Majesty motivates the national security and defense forces. And finally, His Majesty represents Thailand with other world leaders and heads of state. Yes. And in this picture here, you can see the former king of Thailand, Rama IX. And does anybody know who this is? Queen. Yes. Queen of which country? England. Yes. Remember before when I said about heads of state? England's head of state is a woman. So she's known as the Queen. But Thailand's head of state is a man. So he's known as the king. And together, they often have ceremonies or attend festivals and represent their countries together. So any questions, guys? No. Okay, that was excellent. Well done. Welcome back to class. We hope your students enjoyed the PowerPoint presentation about the Thai monarchy and also to gain a better understanding of the head of Thailand, the king, and his influence over the different aspects of Thai life. And what we've got coming up is a sentence forming activity for our students to practice working together to put the sentences in the correct order. But before then, it's time for our stretch sequence. So let's stand up and push in our chairs, guys. And for this sequence, we'll begin by jogging on the spot. Stop. Jogging on the spot again. Quickly. Stop. Jogging, stop. Turn left. Turn left again. Turn left. And left. Hello. Jogging on the spot. Stop. Jogging on the spot. Stop. Jogging on the spot. Quickly. Stop. Turn right. Turn right again. Turn right. And right. Hello. Okay, and to finish, we will do 5 claps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent, guys. Have a seat. So teachers, what we've got now is an activity for our students to practice forming sentences into the correct order and also to practice speaking. So what you'll need to do is print off 2 sets of the flash sheets. One of the flash sheets we'll use for the students as an example by having them read, and we'll place onto the board. But the second set of flash sheets, you need to cut the words into individual pieces and then put them into sentences and put your students into groups. And when you say go, all of the students have to work together to put their sentences into the correct order. And when they're ready, they can practice speaking. But first of all, guys, we'll have our sentences on the board so that you have an example. So sentence number 1, His Majesty promotes careers in the agricultural and farming sectors. Okay, so that's sentence number 1. So if you get them words, that's how your sentence needs to look. Sentence number 2, His Majesty works hard to keep the people of Thailand together. Okay, so notice that's sentence number 2. All of the sentences begin His Majesty, so that's a clue to begin. But after that, you have to work them out for yourself. His Majesty supports and preserves Thai arts and culture. Okay, and there's 5 sentences in total. So there's 3. His Majesty promotes education at all levels of Thai society. Okay, just like you guys now at school receiving your education. And the 5th and final sentence, His Majesty motivates the national security and defense forces. Yes, such as the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force. So now we have our 5 sentences on the board. What we need to do is put our teams into pairs or teams of 3 if you have a large class. I've got 9 students, so 3 teams of 2 and 1 team of 3 will work best. So Lakgao and Bangpon, team 1. Preo and Dan, team 2. Chu and Nadia can be team 3. And then team 4, 3 people, Pat, Pak Bung, and Net. And what we need to do now is to give each team their own group of words. And then they will put them together. Team number 4, but not yet. Wait until everybody's ready. You're welcome. Team 3, Nadia and Chu. Team 2, Down and Preo. And then team 1. Okay, so team 1, are you ready? Team 2, are you ready? Team 3, are you ready? Team 4, ready? Okay, all of your sentences are on the board, but which ones do you have? So after 3, 2, 1, go. Notice the first 2 words of each sentence, His Majesty. And then see if you can form the remainder of the sentence yourself. If you're ready, raise your hands and then you can practice speaking. His Majesty, and then really? Okay, now. Okay. His Majesty supports and preserves Thai art and culture. Excellent, guys. Good job. His Majesty works hard to keep the people of Thailand united. Excellent. Well done, guys. Then Nadia and Chu. His Majesty promotes careers in the agricultural and farming sectors. Well done. High fives. Well done, guys. And team 4, how are we doing? Okay, I'll help. So, Majesty. His Majesty. Okay, so His Majesty promotes education at all levels of Thai. Okay, ready, guys? His Majesty promotes education at all levels of Thai society. Excellent job, well done. Okay, so now after the first round, all of our students have practiced speaking. What we'll ask them to do now, guys, take your words and pass them to the team to your left. Okay? Pak Bung, I'll take yours and pass to Lak Gao and Bangpon. And then wait, guys, and then when I say go, we'll practice doing the next set of sentences. So teachers, what you need to ensure is that each sentence is different, so all of the teams can practice the different sentences. Not yet, not yet. Okay. Team 1 ready? Team 2? Team 3? Team 4? 3, 2, 1. Go. So remember, first 2 words, His Majesty. You can always start with the 2 words, His Majesty, which refers to the king. Perfect. Okay. His Majesty promotes education at all levels of Thai society. Okay. His Majesty promotes farming. Let's see. His Majesty promotes careers in the, okay, let's try again. His Majesty promotes careers in the farming and agricultural sectors. Excellent. Well done, guys. Okay, who's next? His Majesty works hard to keep the people of Thailand united. Well done. His Majesty supports and preserves Thai arts and culture. Well done, guys. Okay, so once again, now it's time to pass the sentences to the teams on your left. Teachers, you can pause the video now and you can do the same activity in your classroom with your students. And remember, each time to have the students swap the sentences so they get to play each time with a different sentence. Okay, so Pak Bung, I'll take yours and pass to Lakaw and Bangkok. Team 3, ready? Team 4, ready? Team 2? Ready. Team 1? Go. His Majesty. Remember the first 2 words every time. His Majesty. Excellent. Okay. His upside down. His Majesty promotes careers in the agricultural and farming sectors. Brilliant, guys. Well done. His Majesty promotes education at all levels of Thai society. Excellent. His Majesty works hard to keep the people of Thailand united. Okay, well done. And then Team 4. Team 4, how are we doing? His Majesty supports and preserves Thai art and culture. Brilliant. Okay, let's play one more round. So final round, pass your words to the team on your left again. And make sure not to drop any. So Pak Bung, I'll take yours and pass to Bang Pon. Okay. Team 1, ready? Team 2? Ready. Team 3? Team 4? Go. Final round. Okay. His Majesty supports and preserves Thai art and culture. Very good. Ready?
Ready.
Really?
Ready.
Really, really?
Ready.
His Majesty promotes careers in the agricultural and farming sectors. Brilliant, guys. Well done. Okay, Chu, time for you. His Majesty promotes education at all levels of Thai society. Well done, guys. And Team 4. His Majesty works hard to keep the people of Thailand united. Brilliant. Very well done. Okay, guys, that was a great job. Very well done and very well spoken too. And now it's time for our worksheet part of the lesson. So teachers, make sure every student in your classroom gets their own worksheet. And what we've got today is a series of 9 sentences that relate to the lesson and the PowerPoint presentation. But now, each sentence has one word missing. What our students need to do is they need to read each sentence carefully and then decide from the word box the correct word to complete the sentence. And if they're stuck, they have some examples of the sentences on the board behind them. But what's the first thing to do, guys? Write your names on top. And give our students around 12 minutes for this activity and just monitor the class and help them with anything they need. So Lakau, this one's for you. You're welcome. Prel, here's yours.
Thank you.
Down, this one's for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Chu, for you.
Thank you.
Nadia, this one's yours.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Pat, for you. You're welcome. Pak Bung, here's yours. And Net, finally for you. So guys, names on top. Then have a read of the sentences and try to remember from the flashcards exercise and also the PowerPoint presentation, what words are missing? And remember, you only need each word once. So once you've used it, you can cross it out. So for example, sentence 1, his, somebody, his Majesty, yes, the King, we refer to as His Majesty. Heart and soul. For a long, long time. 1,000? What word can you see? Like, not 1932. What? Centuries. Centuries, hundreds of years. The King of Thailand has been the heart and soul of Thais for centuries. Okay, so the next one, number 3, since. Now, Pakbong, what answer did you give earlier? The year?
102.
Not 100, since 1932. Okay, so since 1932. Excellent, Nadia. His Majesty maintains.
Maintain all of the
And remember before, Buddhism, Christianity, Islam, what are they? Maintains all of the religions in Thailand. His Majesty is responsible for maintaining them. Welcome back to class. We hope your students enjoyed the worksheet exercise where they had to complete the sentences with the correct word from the word box. My students here have all done an excellent job. And what we're going to do now is practice speaking for you too. His Majesty works hard to keep the people of Thailand united. The King of Thailand has been the heart and soul of Thais for centuries. Since 1932, the King of Thailand has been a constitutional monarch. His Majesty maintains all of the religions in Thailand. His Majesty supports and preserves Thai art and culture. His Majesty promotes education at all levels of Thai society. Yes, His Majesty promotes careers in the agricultural and farming sector. His Majesty motivates the national security and defense forces. And finally, the King exercises sovereignty through Parliament. That was excellent, guys, and very well spoken too. And that's all we've got time for today. So we hope you've enjoyed the lesson and found it interesting, and now know a bit more about the Thai monarchy and the effect the king has and his influence over all aspects of Thai life. And we'll see you again soon in the next lesson. So can we turn to wave and say goodbye, guys? Goodbye. Bye-bye. See you again soon.